I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and in this video we're going to have another look at Ertha, a full up-to-date price prediction. Nothing in this video is financial advice, it is for entertainment purposes only. The Ertha chart has been looking real good, but the real question is, what are we going to do? So one of the best things is obviously everybody gets super excited when the price is up. However, you have to look a little bit at the longevity of these projects. I stated before that Ertha for me is not a quick flip, and I actually just moved it from my short-term to a long-term portfolio. I'll give you some price targets in this video on which I will start to take profit. When we look at the actual chart, after the actual launch where it did really well, this specific moment, the Huobi listing got matched with PancakeSwap and it dropped a little bit. After that, because of the Bitcoin instability, there was a slow movement, right? There was no steady increases. When we look at the actual Bitcoin progress over the last 7 days, it is still, I would say, extremely unstable. We don't know which way we're going to go, but definitely the downward linear trend appears to be on a longer chart still there. I don't know anything about technical analysis, nor am I a Bitcoin expert. I don't try to predict that even. I do know a thing or two at this point about micro-cap gaming projects. What we've seen is some upward trend movement, and this has to do primarily with the option of getting discounted NFT land, which you could purchase with Ertha tokens. So when we go to the actual Ertha website, there was definitely some interesting movement happening here. Actually, we're going to go to Medium, and you can buy Ertha. 2 days ago it was announced with hacks with Ertha tokens. Ertha NFT land hacks are now possible to purchase using Ertha tokens. A 10% discount to your purchase is applied when you purchase your NFT land with Ertha tokens. Obviously, this was an incredibly smart move by the team because it increased the demand. Right now, it's already announced that the price of these NFTs will increase on January 17th, which is coming up, by 20%. At the moment, that would mean that if you buy land now, you would have a 20%-ish ROI, assumingly if everything goes well. Buying now with Ertha tokens, it would give you a 10% discount, which means the demand goes up, the supply stays the same, and the price slowly moves up. Obviously, there was some trading involved as well. It went up, it went down. Today, it's again slowly moving up. My real question was, I bought in at 25 cents. So I bought in somewhere here, right? I think the 6th of January, right here is when I entered. So I took this dip and I didn't panic along this way. Why? Because I do believe in this project and this is not my first rodeo, right? However, people ask me if I've taken profit yet, because usually I share my entries, but I don't share my exits, right? But I haven't, right? So I did sell off, I think, 20% of my tokens because I needed liquidity for something else real quick, but that didn't have anything to do with Ertha. So right now I'm sitting at about $10,000 worth of Ertha at the current price, which I have moved from my short-term to my long-term portfolio, and I'll tell you why. But first, let's have a look at everything else that's going on, right? Which you need to be aware of. So they just sold over 15,000 NFTs. So they have a total, I believe, of 130,000, which means they're already past 10%, just let's say a week or so, 2 weeks. Yeah, a week and a half after their listing date, which I think is extreme progress because nothing to the project has changed, but 10% of all NFTs are sold, and this NFT is basically the foundation of their entire metaverse game, right? So that gets sold is an extremely good indicator. They're also actually releasing it step by step. So people are waiting for certain countries on the globe to be unlocked, and they did that really well. Germany got unlocked yesterday and everything is sold almost, right? So obviously the marketing team, especially the European countries, are in high demand, and it's moving really well. I think they're doing a magnificent job promoting this. I think it's not too overhyped. They do keep things realistic, but they do keep the audience engaged. If you're on Discord and you ask questions, they're answered, which I always appreciate if we can have a normal conversation with the moderators and the admins. And so far, I know a lot of people who have purchased land. Am I going to purchase land myself? That is a question I get every single day. The answer is no. The reason I'm not going to purchase land is because I don't want to be exposed to the risk of holding NFTs. I learned my lesson in 2021. I'd rather hold the tokens because I am working with large numbers. I think Ertha is amazing and it will do really well, but I also know that I will not support Ertha for the next 3 years, right? So the NFTs are like a long-term play for me, while the coin is more of a medium long-term play. So I'm definitely happy to take less profits if this becomes like an A+ game with mass adoption. Yes, obviously these NFTs will have tremendous value. They are the ultimate foundation of this entire game ID from this entire metaverse. So they have extremely high potential. I just don't want to lock up my funds, even if it's $1,000. Because if I would commit something, I would probably buy like some of these hexes. Well, these are 9,000, so that's a little bit too expensive. But I would probably buy like 3 of them together, $10,000 worth. And I don't really want to commit that right now. I do, however, want to commit 10,000 to the tokens because I can get rid of those quite easily. So that's my opinion on the NFTs. It has nothing to do with the quality of the project, because so far I'm quite impressed by the Ertha project. And it has nothing to do with the recent price increase, right? Because otherwise I would have already dumped my tokens, but I didn't. Because so far so good. They just released this player energy in Ertha, explaining how the resting elements work. So slowly they're bringing gameplay features and the gameplay mechanics to the investors, right? Becoming more elaborate in what's going to happen, how things work. And I think this has all to do with the stability of the project. The more information you feed over time, the better this will be for the investors in gaining confidence, right? Because the confidence is extremely important. As we've seen with other projects, if the investors lose confidence, it becomes unstable. They have done some nice partnerships. They haven't resulted in anything just yet, but Cryo War, obviously one of my favorite Solana-based blockchain games, did a partnership. They took on SpinTop and I think one more, which is not on this list yet, but these announcements are obviously great for the expansion of the Ertha brand name. Now let's look at the price, because that's what we came here for a price prediction. So the price again is pumping, it's moving up 40 cents. We're right here, we have some instability. Let's move it to a 1-minute chart. There are some crazy buy spikes and sell-off spikes as well. That becomes, because the tradable volume is becoming bigger and bigger, and the liquidity, so there's quite some slippage required to sell this, right? 15 million daily volume, absolutely amazing, right? But it's still on Huobi 5 million. Pancake carries the most volume there, 66 total percent. One thing you need to be aware of if we go to Huobi is one major milestone that is important. If you go to the staking pool, the first staking pool unlocks January 18, right? So that staking pool will get unlocked. What that means is that people get access to their tokens. So on the 18th of January, we will see a dump, right? Today is Saturday the 15th, so that will happen in 3 days. I hope to have this video published by then. That should be possible. But it's very much important that you are aware of that date. So when that price crashes specifically, you might, if you are into a quick flip, I don't think I will take the risk, but you might sell the token on the 17th and buy it back on the 18th in the late evening when the price is probably at the lowest point. It is not unlikely that it will go from 40, maybe even later today, 45 cents, and it will be brought back all the way to 20 cents by people just taking profit, right? Because it's very likely the people who did the staking on Huobi for the, good APY at the start, right? They also took part in the IDO listing on Huobi, which means they got in for super cheap. They have already made significant gains. Now they get their additional tokens as well. So these people are maybe up like I don't know, let's pull up the actual Ertha token on CryptoRank. We can see how much they're actually up. IDO, they're up 21x, right? So for 21x, of course they're going to take profit. That's a no-brainer in my opinion. So you would definitely see a crash, assumingly, that's what I forecast at least. We'll see a crash happening that specific date. So nothing major the 18th, which means you can sell your tokens on the 17th, but you also are exposed to the risk that what happens if some big buyers buy up all the tokens on the 18th, that if you would have to make a re-entry, it would be more expensive. So obviously any opportunity, any potential reward carries additional risk there. But you can definitely see that this project on a 10-minute overview, if we scroll out, is on a general upward trend for the last 3 days. So if it's only 1 day, it's just a spike, but now we are really entering a trend where it's moving up. Right? I don't think I will make the flip. I don't want to take the risk. I have quite some stable coins, so I don't really need to flip. I will keep my 10K where it is. That's for my position, the most important part. But you do have that opportunity, not financial advice. When we look at the actual medium long term, what I think is feasible is about a $2 billion fully diluted market cap. So we're looking at 80 to $1. Over the next sales period of the NFTs, right? So they're getting close to 50, half of the NFTs sold, right? I'm assuming the token will be in high demand as well, specifically because they're now giving a 10% discount in buying these hex tiles. I assume they will do that again once they increase the price, that they will leverage the token more, create their own demand, which I think is extremely smart that way, basically artificially creating the demand by leveraging their NFT system, which is the foundation of the game, right? So win-win-win all around, everybody wins. Quite genius indeed. So I do think that I'm going to take my first profit at 85 cents to $1. I'm not going to sell 100%. I'll probably do batches of 20% and then probably make a step ladder like I usually do. But as it's like in my medium long-term portfolio now, $1 would have to come first. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold. I will wait it out because I do think, I do believe in the long-term potential of Ertha, right? And that's just believe in the team, really. I'm quite impressed what they've done so far. People can argue, if you read the charts, if you look at the technical analysis, nobody can read the charts in crypto for the next 6 months on a micro-cap coin, right? It could go either way. Somebody calls the CEO a scammer and the FUD is created and the product turns to shit, right? So definitely some more risk in holding long-term. However, I do think it will pay off. 10K right now. If I start selling at $1, that would be 25K. And if I can do this with multiple coins, as I'm doing, right? So my gaming long-term portfolio right now is Ertha and CryoWar. And I'm looking, browsing, researching on where to move next, basically. But this is what I'm looking at for Ertha. Price dump coming up in 3 days. You can do a flip there if you like, if that's what's suitable for you. I'm gonna pass on that opportunity, I think. I'll just hold it until $1 and then if there's no major volatility in the market, if there's no major moves happening with Ertha, then I will stick with this price prediction. If anything happens, obviously I will update it. So perhaps in a couple of weeks from now, we will review Ertha again. This was everything for today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.